All right, so I'm going to talk about Python's built-in functions in this screencast. So Python has certain built-in functions which are going to always be available. We've already covered several of these. So print is a good example of one. Float is another example of one. If you Google Python built-in functions, your top hit is going to be the documentation on the official python.org website, documenting all the built-in functions that are available with Python. So here lists them all. This is where you can come find out more information about any of these that you might be interested in. For example, print. I'll take you down and explain a bit more about how the print function works, what it can take in, what it might return, etc. Right, so the list of all these, like I said, is going to be at the very top here. We'll go over a number of these in class. Other ones we've covered include the int function, the float function, the string function, the input function right here. And then also you may have explored the round function already, which I'm going to look at in just a second. And then another one I'm going to show you in a second is the abs function. So let's look at those in more detail. So round will return a number rounded to n digits precision after the decimal point, n digits being the second argument passed, if you pass something. And that's if you pass something to it. Otherwise, it'll return the nearest integer to its input. Right, so in other words, you pass a number to be rounded and the number of digits you would like it to round to. And then the other one we're going to cover in a second is absolute. Returns the absolute value of a number. Right, so you can see there's just an argument, whatever that number is. It can be an integer, it can be a floating point number, or any object implementing this, which is beyond the scope of our class. But if the argument is a complex number, its magnitude is returned. So, say a bit about this in our notes. So they're always available to us, no special imports or anything like that. And we just have to Google Python docs built-in functions to find them. And the examples would be things like print, input, int, float, string function, round, and the new one we just introduced, absolute. So all of those would be good examples. All right, so then when you go to use this, if you have a number, for example, let's say negative 3.3 repeating for a while, you store that in a variable called num. If you want to round that number, the way to do it would be to use the round function, pass the number in, specify the number of decimal points you would like it to round to. And it will round to that specified number of decimal places. If we run this code, some of our previous notes were running here, but you can see that negative 3.33 is a number that it gets rounded down to. Demonstrating our other new function, absolute. Pass in the number to find the absolute value of. And it removes the negative. giving us a resulting value of 3.33.